Hi, this is Judy with Handcrafted Greetings, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Christmas card, specifically these ornaments, which are made, it's a technique called Spirelli, and it's made by wrapping string around a scalloped circle. So for this card I used the Nestabilities classic scallop circles, both the large and the small set, and I took the three smallest dies, so the one out of the large set and two out of the small. So I take those three dies and I cut three circles, and I do these I do these cards three at a time. So I cut three from red, three from, this is rich coral cardstock, three from beach ball, and three from kiwi slice. And I'll just take one of each to make one card, and then each card will have a different combination of the colors. I'm going to show you how to do this on the biggest one because it's easiest to see. The first thing that I do with my scallop circle is I'm going to put white liner on the back of it, and this will help hold your thread in place. When dealing with these smaller scallop circles, these notches are really tiny, and the thread will slip out of them easily. If you have adhesive on the back to hold your thread in place, that won't happen, or it won't happen as easily. So I'm just going to put several strips on the back of this, and I put them fairly close to the edge. They don't have to be right up next to the edge. Okay, see that? You could also use a white liner sheet and cut it with the scallop die. That would probably work. And if you have anything overlapping, you can just fold those under. I'm going to take these off. This will make it a little bit sticky to handle, but it's really not too bad. I always keep this little jar on my desk to catch the backings of my white liner and my foam squares. Otherwise they just end up all over the house. Okay, got those removed. I'm gonna fold that in just because I don't want it sticking out the other side. And now I'm going to use some gold thread. Actually, I have, on this card, I used 3 different times. I have a gold, which is a blending filament. It was just a gold blending filament. And some iridescent, oh, here it is. Iridescent blending filament. That's what I used on the blue. That was brilliant. There. And I think I'll use this again. I like this on the blue. I taped the end down. The stuff, when it comes undone, it goes everywhere. So, looks like I need to trim the end of that. Okay. So I'm just going to stick this to the back and bring it around and through one of the notches. And I don't go straight across because then you won't have a hole in the middle. But this has this nice little hole in the middle. So you go about, I just eyeball it. The closer together you go, the bigger the hole is going to be. I think I want to go right about there. And I hold the thread, I just keep it on the spool. I found that if you run it through your fingers like this, it tends to twist, and you'll end up with kind of a mess after a little while. So I keep it on the spool and just wrap. And you go one step forward here and one step forward there. Oops, and I'm going to undo that because I wasn't really explaining it. So I'm coming up through this notch and I'm going over here, go down, and then I'm going to go one forward here and one forward there. And you see, just keep on wrapping, moving forward one notch. And pretty soon you'll end up meeting. And while I'm doing this, every once in a while I'll go back here and just stick these down. This is really helpful because using small stuff, if you drop it or if you let up slack and you don't have that adhesive on the back, all of this is going to come undone and you're going to have to start over. It's really, really frustrating, especially if you get close to the end. So you keep wrapping this. Okay, now we're going to start overlapping. So see there, that's going to form that little point. And now each of these afterwards is going to form that point. And you can see that the circle, the edge of the circle on the inside is starting to form too. And you have to be really careful and make sure that you see how I dropped that and I hadn't pushed down on the back. So it went undone a little bit, but it didn't all the way because it is sticking. So I think before I go any further, I'm going to just make sure I've had this pushed down. There. And keep going. Catch up with where I was. There we go. You can see where that circle is forming there. You have to be really careful that you don't miss any of these. You'll know at the end if you missed any, because you'll have an extra. Hopefully, I won't show you by example. It's really actually, you know, I had somebody say, oh, that must have taken you forever to do that. And it goes pretty quickly, as you can see. And I'm going to take that up on the back again. This is really fun. I love this iridescent thread. I bought this at, I'm thinking probably Joann's several years ago. I've had it forever. I just thought it was pretty. The rainbow colors. It's blending filament. It's by, let me see, Krennic Metallics. Okay, getting close to done. Hopefully I didn't skip any, so I was talking. Okay, last one. There, it's all done. That's all it took. Oh, there goes my spool running away from me. So to secure this, I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape on the back just to make sure that that stays down, because you can pull it up. And then turn it off. And that's done. And see, I made that a bit bigger than my original one, but that's fine. I like just eyeballing it. None of mine look the same. You can see on this one, these two are close. That one's quite a bit smaller. I just like having that variety. So to make the rest of the ornament, you do the same thing with the other two colors. And I'm going to go do that, and then I'll come back and show you how to assemble the rest of the card. Okay, I'm back. I finished the ornaments, and now I'm going to assemble the card. I started with a card base, rich coral card base, just your standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. And I cut a background from some paper that I had that has these nice fir boughs on the back of it. And that's just 4 by 5 1/4, and mounted it on there. Next, I have a stamp. Found a Merry Christmas stamp. This is Janie's Christmas Kids acrylic stamps. I got these from Paper Wishes. I don't know if they still carry them, but this has been probably a couple of years ago. And I used this Merry Christmas stamp out of this set. And I stamped that onto a piece of 5/8 by 4 1/4 inch rich coral cardstock. And I created a mat for that on the gold mirror cardstock. And the mat that I used is 7/8 wide by 4 1/2 inches long. And I just cut these so that the 4 1/2 inches you want, because it fits well on there. But as far as the width, I just match it to whatever size, the height of the letters. So that's going to be the sentiment. For the ornaments, I'm going to want to put these strings. I put the strings on the back first. So that's just the journey thread, the gold journey thread. And I'm just taping those on the back. Nothing fancy there. And I want to make sure that I give it plenty. I'll trim these off. Just don't want it too short. All right. So we've got those, and now I'm going to just kind of arrange them on here. Decide where I want them. I don't want them all hanging the same height. I don't want them up too high. So we have to have room for this. That looks about right. And now I'm just going to use foam squares on the backs. On these, the green I used, this was gold blending filament. The silver, this is a little bit heavier, and it is the DMC metallic thread. And that's about as heavy as I would want to go with these, especially with these smaller scallops. It was actually, it kept slipping out. I had to really make sure that I was sticking it to the back as I went along, because the thread's chunkier, and so it slides out of those notches a little bit easier. Okay, yeah, I want that up a little bit further. Hope I don't tear it. Nope, okay. Got one right about there. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to put this on, and I just use white liner. Actually, before I put that on, I'm going to want to tape these ends down just to hold them in place. Just a really small piece of tape on the end of each of those. I want to make sure I put it down far enough that it'll be behind the sentiment. Okay, now that I've got that, I can trim these off so they don't stick up. Now I can put this on. And now I'm ready to put this sentiment on. So let's put some foam squares. I'm going to pop that up. Okay, so there's that, and now we want to do these cute little centers. For that, I used the Journey sequins. These little white snowflake things. These sometimes have more than one stacked up, so you want to make sure you've got them separated. I think there's more than one there. Yep. And just a little spot of Journey craft glue in the middle of each of these. I got these tweezers. I got them on Amazon a few years ago. I love them. They've got these really teeny tiny tips. Makes it so much easier to place things. I probably put a little too much glue on there. It does not take much. That right in the middle. Yeah, take some of that glue off. There. Okay, and then for the very centers, I used these gold dazzles. I got these from Paper Wishes. I went online looking for these today. They have silver. They didn't have any gold, so I think they're just out of stock for right now. But these are great, and there's, I don't know, 540. And there's different sizes. You can see there's the really teeny ones. There's, looks like 3 different sizes. And they're great. They said they're the bling without the bump. Okay. Now let's see. Oh, there's one more thing. The little bows that go on the top. And I made those. I've got, normally when I make bows, I just use my fingers to make bows, but These bows, my fingers aren't that small, obviously. So I have a little bow maker, and you can get these. This one's by Joycraft. There's several different companies that make these, but you can make really tiny bows, and it's really pretty cool. Same principle. You just do your little figure 8 through the middle, come up. I tighten from that side so I don't waste so much thread. Tighten that down and slide it off. Trim the ends, about like that. And then add a little bit of craft glue just to the very, very top. Stick that ornament on there, that bow on there. And I already made the other 2. So I'll go ahead and put those on. There it is, all done. Didn't take very long at all. So I hope you found this helpful, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It's Handcrafted Greetings, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.